Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. Just gonna start by saying that this is the 100th episode I do of reviews, and it has been almost 2 years since I started this project. It has been a joy to review amazing books, and I hope to keep doing it in the future. On this episode, I'm telling you all about Icebreaker by Anna Grace. I was very curious to read this one after seeing several reviews of it on Instagram. And I gotta say that I'm a sucker for books with sports as a focal point, plot point, so I was easily convinced to read it. This book tells us Anastasia Allen's story. She has worked her entire life for a shot at Team USA. She's a competitive figure skater since she was 5 years old, and she has a full college scholarship thanks to her place on the Maple Hills skating team and a schedule that would make even the most driven person weep. Stacy comes to win, no exceptions. On the other hand, Nathan Hawkins has never had a problem he couldn't solve. As captain of the Maple Hills Titans hockey team, he knows the responsibility of keeping his team on the ice. He knows the responsibility of keeping his team on the ice rests on his shoulders. When a misunderstanding results in the two teams sharing a rink, and Anastasia's partner gets hurt in the aftermath, Nate finds himself swapping his stick for tights and one scary coach for an even scarier one. So the pair find themselves stuck together in more ways than one, but it's fine because Anastasia doesn't even like hockey players. I found a new obsession with this book. I absolutely loved it, and I just couldn't stop reading it, from the relationship between Anastasia and Nathan to the friendships portrayed in the book, and even to the sports parts. I became hooked. It was very difficult for me to stop reading it at the end of the day because I just wanted to keep going. To be honest with you, the book was filled with ups and downs in terms of conflict. We got the fluffy and adorable moments, but then we were hit with trauma. It was done so perfectly, though, because it didn't feel forced or out of nowhere. And of course, the spicy scenes between Nathan and Anastasia were to die for. Going a little more in depth about Anastasia and Nathan, I just feel like they were perfect for each other, like two puzzle pieces that found their way to the other. But the way they communicated their feelings was a little baffling to me. They were honest with each other, and even though they were sometimes afraid of hurting the other, what mattered to them was to tell the truth and how they were feeling. I know that in Nathan's case, he had to work on it a little bit more, but by the end of the book, he was just doing it so well because he knew that Anastasia needed that constant in her life. And I think Anastasia also learned a lot with Nathan in terms of sometimes going a little out of her plan and enjoying the good things in her life. Harder was important to achieve their goals, but sometimes you have to let it go and just enjoy the moment. The trust they had on each other and how protective they were of the other was really evolved for a romance. I know the relationship started with a lot of tension, but they weren't afraid of sassing the other to get a reaction and trying to make things better, especially Nathan. It made for some hilarious moments through the whole story. Anastasia would be Nathan's first defender, but she would also be the first to try and get a reaction out of him with the help of his own friends. Which brings me to the found family trope of this book. The hockey team was one big family, and they kind of adopted Anastasia and Lola to their gang, which was so effortlessly. They seemed to fit with them perfectly, and it made for some adorable moments between them all. And don't even get me started on the way Anastasia and even Lola felt so protective over the boys, even though they were big men. The dynamic that really was my fave, though, was Anastasia and Harry's friendship. I couldn't get enough of it, and I just wanted what they had. To be honest, to get someone that was like a brother or sister that would go to war for you and tell you how things were. It was truly magical. I've already seen that the author announced the second book in this universe. This time is going to be Rita's story. and I'm very excited to get to know him more after the little glimpses we saw on Icebreaker. Just to end on an advice, please read the bonus chapters on the author's website. You won't be disappointed. As always, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at ritasbookclub for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Happy readings.